Not only does the whole law and all the prophets depend on these two commandments, but there is no law for people who keep these commandments. That's what the saints tell us. John of the Cross, Teresa of Avila, all the great saints, Augustine says that for the person who loves, there is no law. That's what I want. I want to live in a world where there is no law, because if there's no law, then there's no judgment. And so love just does away with everything that we dread in this world. In fact, perfect love casts out fear. There is no fear in love. And so there's this poem I was reading this week, and it's really strange because I was reading it and I put it in my homily as the first line of my homily, and then Daniel's wife sends me a poem from the very same poet that no one's ever heard of. I'm not even going to tell you who it's from because no one's ever heard of this poem. I don't even think I can say his name. But then she quotes the same one, so I'm like, wow, that's God. God's at work. So let me quote the little verse that I had from this poet, and listen carefully, because this is what it's all about right here. The poet says, "I shall ever try to drive all evil away from my heart and keep my love in flower, knowing that you have your seat in the inmost shrine of my heart." God's seat is in the inmost shrine of your heart. How cool is that? You have God in you, if indeed you walk by the Spirit and not by the flesh. And so, Teresa of Avila, we mentioned her, let's bring her up again. Teresa of Avila says that the human soul, your soul, is like a diamond, but not just any diamond, bigger and more amazing than any diamond this world has ever seen. That's your soul. That's pretty cool that she said that about your soul, isn't it? You know what else she said about your soul? She said almost every Catholic, most Catholics, by and large, just all Catholics, don't even know that their soul is there. They don't even pay any attention to it. They're not aware that this great treasure, this pearl of great price, is your soul. It's your soul where God takes his seat. That is so cool, and yet we tend to ignore it. I did a funeral today for a wonderful man. His name's Bill Willing, William Willing. And the one famous thing about William Willing is our windows. He did those. All these beautiful windows. He did all the lead work in that. Willing Glass Company did the windows here. And so we did a funeral for Bill Willing today. And you know, one of the coolest and strangest things about him was one of his hobbies or sidelines, one of his incomes, side incomes, was he had a worm farm. Can you imagine that? A worm farm. Yeah, he's laughing. Even with a mask, I heard you, Father Ron. Me too. And so who does that? But he sold worms to the bait shops, places that sold bait. And so that worm farming. And so I was thinking about that. I was thinking this wonderful, wonderful saint, St. John Chrysostom. He says, if you want to live your life really, really well, if you really want a life that at the end of it you're like, yeah, I really did it right. He said, keep your death always before you. What? Keep your death always before you. Why? Because of Bill Willing's worm farm. Because all those things, when you die, that goes to the worms, yeah, that's not where we're supposed to be spending all of our attention, all of our time. All those things about you when you die, that God, yeah, that's what we're supposed to be paying attention to. In other words, I want to let go of all the things that pass away in this life, and I want to hold on to all the things that last forever. Teresa of Avila tells us that most people spend their life feeding the worms. They spend their life giving their attention, their energy, their effort, their love, all that they give to the things of this world, the concerns of this world that are all passing away. Jesus puts it this way. He says, store up for yourself treasure in heaven that the worms can't eat, that the rust doesn't destroy. Yeah, there is a seat that belongs to God that's in the inmost shrine of our hearts, and we pay no attention to it. And so this gospel today says, love the Lord your God with all your heart. Yeah, there is a heart that isn't part of the body. We call it the soul. There is a knowing that has nothing to do with the brain. There is a love and a peace that has nothing to do with the emotions. There is a seeing that has nothing to do with the eyes. And there is a heart that has nothing to do with our body. We're talking about the inmost shrine of our hearts. Some people tell me that we're just our thoughts, whatever we think. No, because our thoughts just come out of our brain, and our brain goes into the ground with the worms. Some people say, well, we're just our emotions. And I say no, because they too are just a product of the chemicals in the brain and in the body. And those too go into the ground and belong to the worms. Some people say, well, we're just our memories. We are a collection of our memories. And if we lose that, then what are we? Well, I don't know, but I lose my memory every day. Cindy asks me a question, and I say, I don't know, I don't remember. More and more, I don't remember. And I'm still here. I'm still me. And I'm still loving God, and I'm still tearing it up, and I'm still living and loving the way God's called us to do this. Yeah, we are not our thoughts. We are not our emotions. We are not our memories. Those things don't belong to God eternally. What belongs to God eternally is this thing inside of us we call our soul, our heart. And in there, we do know, but not the way the world knows and not the way we know with our brain. We know profoundly. In here, we love, but not the way the world loves, not the way you see it on TV. No, we love profoundly with our soul, deep within our soul. And in here, there is this existence of God that no religion can touch, no theology can touch. People can argue theology with me all day long, but I know God in here, in my soul. I know that I know that I know. I have given this seat to God. Sure, I sin and I fall away, just like we all do. The world pulls us out of this beautiful shrine we have within us. And so how do we keep that? How do we nurture that? How do we capacitate our souls that when we die, we take it with us? You know what you take with us? All that love, all those bonds of affection that knit us together as one throughout the year. That love goes with us, and it stays with those we love. All those good works that we do in this world, bringing good into the world. You know, that's the one thing a human being can do that angels can't. They're spirits, they're wonderful, but they got no bodies to bring good into the world. Animals, they got these bodies, but don't have that spirit like the angels, so they don't bring good into the world. They're just beautiful creation. Human beings have spirits and bodies, and so all that good we bring into the world, that lasts forever, that remains. And so how do we do this? How do we nurture this? How do we build this up? How do we capacitate it? Well, we go to Mass. We go to Mass every Sunday, because if we don't, our soul begins to be shriveled up, and we begin to focus on the things of the world, and we put here where Christ belongs, we put the cares of the world. It's like the thorns in the parable Jesus told. The thorns choke out the Word of God. They choke out that work God's doing in us. And so one of the things we can do is go to Mass every Sunday and then fully participate in the Mass. Pray those prayers. Listen to them. If you don't sing, especially in COVID times, fine. But look at the words on the screen and pray those words. Let those go into your soul and into your heart. Enter into, and let God enter into you, and you enter into God, into the mystery. Do Bible study. Read the Gospels every day. Get your Magnificat, and every day, what's the gospel for the Mass today? Meditate on that. Just let it get into your heart, into your soul, and your soul will come alive. Your soul will feed on that. Deep conversion. Give your life to God. Give your heart to God. Give your whole being to God. Be all in. Deep conversion, deep prayer. Go into the Adoration Chapel or into your own closet at home and be silent. Be silent with God. Be silent until it's just you and God. And when it's just you and God, and you see Jesus seated on the inmost shrine of your heart, then you've prayed. Then you know that you've prayed. Pray until you see Jesus right here. That's our deepest faith. That is our gospel faith, where Jesus says, love God with all your heart. Do you even know you have a heart that doesn't belong to the body? You have a heart that is your soul. And that's the most valuable part of who you are. That is the part that goes to God, not the worms. And that's the part we want to feed, we want to nurture, and we want to develop in this life, because that life waits. That's our faith. We have a little time to do this beautiful work of discovering who we really are, that pearl of great price, that diamond that is our soul, where God takes up his seat. Once again, that poem, I shall ever try to drive all evil from my heart and keep my love in flower, knowing that you have your seat in the inmost shrine of my heart. Make that our prayer. That is our faith. And what a wonderful prayer and what a wonderful faith we have.